trading is happening, see where price is discovered, until unless trade happens, price will not get discovered. So there is a trading happening. In this lecture, we are going to discuss basically foreign investment. Foreign investment. In the previous class, we have already discussed economic capital framework and Basel norms. So, foreign investment. Before we go into this topic in detail, let me give you certain backgrounds. Let me tell you certain things which will help you in understanding foreign investment. That knowledge is required. That knowledge is required to understand foreign investment in a better way. Now, you need to understand basic things like what happens in a company, who takes the decision in a company. So, in any company, the owners, the shareholders, they appoint their representatives called board of directors. Let's say D1, D2, D3, D3. So, if there is a company, then the owners appoint board of directors, right? The board of directors can be 2, it can go up till 12, 15. Suppose in a company I am owning 70%, and some students, UPSC students, they are owning 30%, and board of directors have to be appointed. So, we are the shareholders, we are the owners, so we will appoint board of directors. And depending on our ownership percentage, shareholding percentage, we get a chance to appoint board of directors. So, if I have 70% ownership, someone else has 30% ownership, and we have to appoint board of directors. So, I may get, and suppose we total 3 board of directors have to be appointed. So, I may appoint 2 and the others may appoint 1. So, higher the percentage of ownership, higher I will appoint more number of directors. Okay, so directors are basically the representatives of the shareholders, the owners. If the company is small, the number of directors may be less, 2, 3. If the company is big, the number of directors may be maybe 12, 13. Because, see, just say, for example, Reliance. Now, the Reliance Group is owned by Mukesh Ambani. So, Reliance Group has hundreds of companies, 300, 400 companies are there in Reliance Group. And Mukesh Ambani, he cannot take decision in almost every company. So, what has happened is, he has appointed board of directors, he has appointed representatives in the companies, and these board of directors take the important decisions in the company on behalf of the owners. They are expert in their fields. Okay. Now, these directors, among themselves, they may appoint a managing director who will be handling the affairs of the company. So, this is the decision making body, and among them they can appoint a managing director who will be handling the normal operations of the company. And the managing director, he can be a CEO also, or under him a CEO can be appointed, chief executive officer. So, the same person can be CEO, MD and CEO, or he can some other CEO can be appointed. And under CEO, chief executive officer, we have CTO, chief technical officer, chief operations officer, chief finance officer. But the decision making in the company is board of directors, and they have been appointed by the shareholders, by the owners, in proportion of their shareholding. So, if I own more shareholding in a company, I will get a chance to appoint more number of directors. And one person can be appointed a chairman. He has very nominal role in the company. Basically, he presides over the board of directors meeting. This is very important in terms of decision making. And in any company, most of the decisions happens through simple majority. That means if most of the decisions happens through simple majority, that means if more than 50% of the votes have been cast for any particular thing, then it will happen. So, since most of the decisions happens through simple majority, so in any company, if I own majority shareholding more than 50%, so I will get more chance, so I will appoint more number of directors. So if I have appointed two directors and someone else has appointed one director because my ownership is more, now any decision which will have to be taken in the company, then if these two directors are taking decisions on my behalf, of course they will favor me. So generally in a company, the decisions, those decisions happen which are favored by the majority shareholders, right? So if I am owning more than 50%, most of the decisions I can take through my appointed board of directors. Okay, and certain very important decisions, for certain very important decisions, it may be possible that in the agreement it is written that all the directors should agree, but otherwise most of the decisions happens through simple majority. So those owners who have more shareholding, they has the authority to take the decisions through the board of directors. Okay, so this is important. For example, suppose Reliance Industries Limited. Now Reliance Industries Limited, Mukesh Ambani is holding 70% of the shareholding, let's say. The other 30% is held by someone else. And if there are 10 directors have to be appointed, big company, 10 directors have to be appointed, then Mukesh Ambani may appoint 7 directors and the others will appoint 3 directors. Now if any decision has to be taken, they will favor the decision which Mukesh Ambani wants, right? So that will happen. So majority shareholders, the shareholders who are owning the majority of the company, they basically are the decision makers through the board of directors. This is one thing. The second is, suppose this is a company XYZ, right? And Vivek owns this company. Vivek owns this, right? Vivek is the full ownership of this. Vivek has the full ownership of this company. Now, if this company issues new shares, listen carefully, if this company issues new shares, suppose you are UPSC aspirants and company issues new shares to you, then money will come to the company or the owner Vivek. What I am telling is, this company issued new shares and you purchase the shares. So you'll have to pay money. Now the money that you will pay, it will come to the previous owner, that Vivek or the company. Money will go to the company. What will happen? Money will go to the company. Because if this company issues new shares, you got the shares, now you are also the owner. So you paid money to the company. The capital, the money of the company increased. So now you are also the owner, shareholder. Vivek is also the shareholder. Vivek's ownership will reduce. But if company has issued the shares, you will pay money to the company. So whenever new shares are issued, money comes to the company. And this we have already seen in the securities example. Now another case. XYZ. Vivek is owning this company. Okay. Now in this case, what happened is, Vivek is holding shares. Vivek is holding shares. Now Vivek wants to sell his shares, sell his ownership in the company, and he wants to move out. He wants to sell his shares to you guys and he wants to move out. Then in that case, if you have to purchase the shares, you'll have to pay money. So that money will go to Vivek or company. That money will go to Vivek or company. That money will go to Vivek because Vivek is moving out and Vivek is selling his shares to you. So you will pay money to Vivek and Vivek will transfer the shares to you. Money will not come to the company. So these are two cases. Please keep it in mind. Whenever the new shares are issued, money comes to the company, and when the previous owners sell their shares to the owner, others to the new owners, then money goes to the previous owner and company doesn't get any money. And one more thing that you need to understand. Suppose this is Reliance Industries Limited and Mukesh Ambani, let's say Mukesh Ambani is owning 70%. The rest 30% shares are being traded. The rest, this is secondary market. Okay. So Mukesh, the 70% shares that Mukesh Ambani is holding, these shares are not traded on the stock exchange. He is holding his shares, that is not tradable. These shares which the company issued, now these shares, it is traded in the secondary market. One person may sell the share to the other and he can move. Right? So these shares are traded. This is secondary market. And since the trading is happening here, so price is discovered on a daily basis. You must be seeing that this share, this is the price, this share, this is the price. So here, since trading is happening, see where price is discovered. Until trade happens, price will not get discovered. So there is a trading happening. So price gets discovered in the secondary market. But you should know that the same shares are held by Mukesh Ambani also. Mukesh Ambani is holding 70% of the shares and these investors are holding 30% of the shares. But the share is same. Whatever value will be of this share, the same value will be of the share held by Mukesh Ambani. So if Mukesh Ambani has to know that what is his worth, how much he holds money, so whatever number of shares he is holding into the share price. So Mukesh Ambani comes to know, because his shares are not being traded, so how he will come to know the price? Basically, whatever price is getting discovered in the secondary market, the same price will be of the shares held by Mukesh Ambani. Right? It's like I am a trader in vegetable mandi. I am stocking certain potatoes. I have stocked certain potatoes in my godown, and some potato I have released in the mandi. I have kept in the mandi to be sold. Now, whatever is the price of my potato in the mandi, the same price is there whatever I have held in the warehouse godown. So same is true. These shares Mukesh Ambani is holding in his pocket, let's say. Now it's in online format, but this is not traded. But the share is same what is being traded in the secondary market. Whatever is the price discovered, that same price will be. Okay. And in this way, the top 10 richest or top 100 richest names are published. For example, whatever number of shares Mukesh Ambani is holding, if the share, so to know his worth, number of shares into share price will be multiplied, whatever will be the share price here. Now, if the share price is increasing here, he is becoming rich. If the share price falls here, he becomes poor. So, when the share price increases of a particular company increases, the owner may be in the top 10 list or top list. If the share price falls, his wealth decreases. Okay. And whatever shares have been issued, either with Mukesh Ambani or this. So, total number of shares issued by the company into share price, that is called market capitalization of the company. Total number of shares held by the owners into total number of shares whatever has been issued to them or them, total shares issued into market price of the share is called market capitalization of the company. No need to go into all these details, just have a basic idea. Okay, so with this knowledge, let us try to understand foreign investment. Now, can anyone tell me what you really understand about this term foreign investment? Any idea? Foreign investment. See, let's see, this is India. This is okay. And let's say this is US. Now, if any company registered outside India, let's say here, if any company registered outside India, putting money in a company registered inside India, putting money in a company registered inside India is called foreign investment. is called foreign investment. So any company registered abroad, registered outside India, but they are putting money, they are investing money in a company registered inside India. So money is coming into India. This is called foreign investment. And this investment can be done either by companies registered abroad or NRIs also. Not directly by the foreign people, foreign nationals, not directly. But if someone has become NRI, he can invest in India. Or if a company registered abroad, foreign company, they can invest in India. Foreign people, not directly allowed. And that's a separate thing, not directly allowed. But, so now how you define foreign investment? Foreign investment means any company from abroad, out of India, any company registered out of India, or an NRI investing money in a company or project in India is called foreign investment. It's called foreign investment in India. Understood?